The movie begins in a playground where a father and his daughter are playing with a ball. The girl seems a bit frightened about something, and her father tries to comfort her. After a while they get ready to leave. The father tells his daughter to wait there while he goes to the washroom. The girl stands alone, but suddenly the road lights start turning off one by one on their own. She gets scared and rushes to the washroom. Inside, she finds her father lying on the ground with white foam coming out of his mouth. He tells her to run away. Just then, a man wearing strange clothes appears, twists her arms and legs and forces her into a bag before taking her away. The scene then shifts to a house showing a happy family, husband Patrick, wife Karina, and their little son Jake, who is very playful. Lately, Patrick has been stressed due to a financial crisis. One night, Patrick goes outside to throw away the trash. A light bulb nearby starts flickering, then turns back to normal. He hears some strange noises coming from the forest. Picking up a stick and a flashlight, he enters the woods. Suddenly, an opossum appears and screeches at him, scaring him badly. Patrick quickly runs back home. The next morning, Patrick is working with his brother while Karina is at home, busy on her laptop. Nearby, Jake is playing and blowing a flute. Karina tells him to stop playing it, and he does. She gets back to work, but Jake notices a doll in the bushes who seems to be calling him. Jake follows the doll into the forest. Karina calls out to Jake but gets no response, so she starts searching for him and enters the woods. Meanwhile, Jake continues following the doll deeper inside. Then Karina hears the sound of his flute. She finds Jake sitting near a strange-looking tree, quickly picks him up and warns him never to go into the forest again. That night, Patrick comes home. After Jake goes to bed, Karina tells Patrick everything that happened. Later, Patrick receives an email warning him of legal action for missing a loan payment, which stresses him even more. While thinking about it, he notices Jake is still awake. When Patrick checks on him, Jake says he was talking to Dolly. Patrick puts him back to sleep, then looks out the window. Suddenly, something hits the window. He shuts it and goes downstairs where he finds the kitchen window open. After closing it, he hears strange noises coming from outside again. He wakes Karina and tells her about it. Karina tells him to go back to sleep, but just then, they both hear another sound coming from outside. Karina quickly calls the police while Patrick goes to Jake's room where Jake has woken up and started crying. Patrick picks him up and hands him to Karina, telling her to lock herself in the room. He then heads downstairs despite Karina warning him not to. Patrick notices that the backyard door is wide open. He steps outside and shouts, daring whoever is there to show themselves, but no one answers. Morning arrives and the police inspect the backyard and the house. They ask Patrick and Karina if anything was stolen, to which they reply, no. Outside Jake's bedroom window, the officers find some small pieces of carved wood scattered on the ground. One officer tells Patrick this could be a warning, someone trying to scare them. Later, while cleaning his room, Patrick comes across a small wooden owl he had carved during his childhood. He asks Karina where she found it, but she denies knowing. Instead, she hands him Jake's flute and asks him to hide it. While Jake is taking a bath, Patrick sits nearby. Jake asks for his flute. When Patrick refuses, Jake keeps insisting, so Patrick finally goes downstairs to get it. But he can't find the flute anywhere. Meanwhile, Jake looks outside through the bathroom window and sees Dolly, a figure approaching and trying to open the window. Just then, Patrick calls out to Jake from downstairs. When Jake doesn't respond, Patrick and Karina rush upstairs. They find the bathroom lights turned off. Jake tells them that Dolly had come to meet him. Patrick searches for the flute again but still can't find it. That night, Patrick, Karina, and Jake sleep together in the same room. Hours later, Patrick's phone beeps with a notification. The house alarm has been disabled. He quickly goes downstairs to reactivate it. Through the window, Patrick sees the garage door open. He steps outside and checks inside the garage where he finds a small doll sitting on a chair, wearing the same hat Patrick had as a child. Patrick removes the hat and throws it away, then leaves the garage, but the main door locks by itself. He tries to re-enter the house by reaching through the pet door at the bottom of the kitchen door, but suddenly, he sees the same strange man in unusual clothing, hanging upside down from the ceiling, playing Jake's flute. Patrick quickly breaks the gate's glass, opens it, and rushes inside, but the man is nowhere to be found. The next morning, Patrick, Karina, and Jake go to see Mary Barbar, who turns out to be a psychologist who had treated Patrick in his childhood. She shows Karina some papers containing Patrick's childhood drawings, which were very strange. Then she tells them about the Bagman, a creature that lures children, and when they are at their most terrified, traps them inside a bizarre bag and takes them away. Karina doesn't believe her but still asks what they should do next. The scene then shifts. Karina's sister Anna books a hotel room for Patrick and Karina so they can spend some time together, while she keeps Jake with her. Patrick opens up to Karina about everything that happened with the Bagman in his childhood. He told Karina that his father told him to keep his childhood most loving things with him, always to stay safe from Bagman. Meanwhile, Anna is watching Jake sleeping through a baby monitor. Suddenly, she hears a strange noise from the monitor. She rushes to Jake's room. Everything seems fine at first, but then the lights go out and darkness fills the room. The front gate starts rattling loudly. Anna, frightened, peeks through the door hole and sees a man in strange clothing standing outside. She nervously asks who he is but gets no reply. Suddenly, the gate's lock starts unlocking by itself. Terrified, Anna runs to Jake and grabs him and hides inside a wardrobe. Saw Anna taking Jake and hiding inside a wardrobe. The strange man enters the room and goes straight to open the wardrobe door. Anna attacks him with a knife, but he grabs her hand and, with his other hand, forcefully covers her mouth, causing her to become paralyzed. He then takes out a pair of scissors and moves toward Jake, who was lying inside the wardrobe, but without harming him he cuts some of his hair. After this, the police arrive, followed by Patrick and Karina. The officer tells Patrick that the power outage in Anna's flat caused the cameras to shut down, but as soon as security noticed this, they rushed to her apartment. There, they found Anna paralyzed and Jake still sleeping inside the wardrobe. No one else was there. Later, they all go to Patrick's brother's house because Anna doesn't want to stay alone. A police car is also stationed outside for their security. That night, while everyone is asleep, Patrick wakes up after hearing a noise. He sees the strange man carrying a bag from which he can hear Jake's voice. Patrick chases him and ends up inside an old cave. Inside, he finds a strange place filled with children's belongings. Following the sound, he goes behind a curtain and finds a bag hanging there. When he opens it, he sees a puppet-like doll that sounds exactly like Jake. Suddenly, the strange man appears, grabs Patrick's mouth, and paralyzes him. Jake asks why he came now, and the man shows him a broken knife from his childhood that Patrick had destroyed in anger. He also shows Jake's flute. Somehow, Patrick picks up the knife and stabs the man in the neck. The man groans in pain and slips into a crack in the wall. Even while paralyzed, Patrick manages to reach the cave's entrance and throws the flute outside. Just then, the man comes from behind, twists Patrick's arm and legs and pushes him into the bag. After a while, Karina arrives with the police and finds the flute. They search for Patrick but find no trace of him. Karina was calling his name and crying. Afterwards, Karina gives the flute to Jake and tells him, "Your father wants you to always keep it with you." Like this video, share your thoughts about this movie in the comments, and subscribe to our channel Story Cracks. We will come back with new story cracks soon.